neighbors that is fighting to stop the waterfront mega towers and protecting the entire community against displacement. So I'm sure you've all seen the change in the housing, small businesses, our schools getting under-resourced and losing support, our community centers closing, our healthcare facilities, our ER facilities closing. As you can see, Councilmember Chin has declined to attend this important forum. We've invited her many times to the community to hear our concerns about what is happening to our community, and she's never shown up. But many of you know this because you've seen firsthand how disappointing Councilmember Chin has been. And tonight is an opportunity for us to voice our concerns and hear from these new candidates for the District 1 City Council seat. So tonight we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to have a panel of resident and community leaders ask questions to the candidates. And so I'm going to introduce just by name Felicia Irving Krishing, a lifelong resident of LaGuardia Houses, Anaicha, and the incoming tenant leader for LaGuardia Houses. Tanya Castro, I should give her a round of applause for that. It's a very tough position. Tanya Castro Negron, a resident leader of Land's End 2, and a member of Lesson. Naomi Garcia, born and raised in Rutgers Houses and a member of Youth Against Displacement. Zishan Ning, a local worker, videographer, member of Chinese Staff and Workers Association and Youth Against Displacement. And Joanna Estevez, a lifelong New Yorker, a longtime resident of 82 Rutgers, and a member of NYC, National Mobilization Against Sweatshops. I'd just like to take a minute for the candidates to introduce themselves and let us know why you're running.
Me first? I heard he was up in the polls. I'll pass it to him. He's up in the polls in his building.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Aaron Foldenauer. I'm running for New York City Council. That's why I'm here tonight. I'm an attorney, and I've lived in the district for over 10 years. And it's an honor speaking with you before you today in this beautiful gymnasium. And, you know, I'm running to fight what I see is incompetence and corruption at all levels of government. And what I've been telling people is that all politics is local. And so as outrageous as things are at the federal level, it's time to focus on reform at the local level. Unfortunately, Margaret Chin is not here today. She did not come today because she's running scared. And Margaret Chin, in a last-ditch effort to save her candidacy, has been holding press conferences and just proposed a sham law today as an election year stunt to try to trick you into supporting her. My message to you is that real reform must happen, and I look forward to speaking with you tonight about real reform here downtown. Again, my name is Aaron Foldenauer, and thanks to all of you for inviting me here today.
Hi everyone. First I want to thank, Coalition to Protect Chinatown, Lower East Side for hosting this event. A lot of the tenant leaders, community activists, and future leaders of our community. Thank you everyone for coming. My name is Christopher Marte, and I'm running for City Council District 1. I'm running for City Council because my parents immigrated to this country, to the Lower East Side, for an opportunity. The opportunity to have a rent-stabilized apartment, the opportunity to have good education for their kids, an opportunity to have affordable health care, an opportunity to use open space that's just a walk away. And as we see in the past 8 years, these opportunities have diminished. And when we ask our city council person, please show up and support us, she's nowhere to be seen. I'm from this community and I have a track record of being there. When at MS 131, which is on Hester Street, the janitor, my friend, told me that these kids will not have an after-school program because the school didn't have funds. What I did was stepped up and gave up my nights and weekends to volunteer as their basketball coach. When community gardens, not only in the Lower East Side, but in Little Italy, needed someone to fight for them, I stood up and fought for them. When my neighbors were fighting against our landlord, I went and did the research and stood up and fought for them. This is what I would do. I will be there. I will show up. And hopefully on September 12th, I will be the next city council person. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tasha?
Whoa, Christopher got a good reception there. He brought a lot of people. Yeah. Okie dokie now. All right. My name is Daisha Imperiali. I'm a native New Yorker. I'm running for city council in District 1. I'm a lifelong artist. I am also a housing activist that has helped countless families across the city. In 2010, I negotiated for 600 families long-term affordability. I am running because I am fed up with Margaret Chin. I am fed up with the corruption, the nepotism, the cronyism. I am just completely fed up. I have been in this race for 3 months and 3 months only. And in that short time, I have raised over $20,000 from individual donors, not from bankers. I've raised from the constituents in this area. I am running to pass the Small Business Job and Survival Act so that small businesses can stay in this community. I am running to pass a Chinatown working group plan in its entirety. And I might add, I was the only candidate that mentioned the Chinatown working group plan in the debate on M&N. Because it is important. It is important what is going on in this community. I might also add that I am running because Margaret Chin is a failed councilwoman, okay? She used to be my interpreter 15 years ago, and she let a person die in my elevator when I told her about in 2010 that the elevator that the gentleman died in was a death trap. And she allowed my landlord to get away with that. I am running because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. So if you want a voice to speak up for you, then vote for Daisha Imperiali September 12th.
Thank you, candidates. I'm just going to remind everyone, including myself, to speak slowly because there's translation, simultaneous translation happening. So I'm going to hand it over now to Felicia for the first question.
Hey, good evening, everyone. The first question will be, in the waterfront, the large-scale residential developments that we know at this point, they're illegal. It's illegal to build any new construction that will adversely impact the community, such as, examples are the culture in the community, the access to sunlight for NYC residents, increased traffic congestion, pollution, sewage overflow, health and safety issues. And given that the environmental impact statement process for new construction is commonly is a rubber stamp process with no legal bearing, but that in the lesson argument, it's a critical component to stop the towers that will that will stop the towers. What will you do in your new positions that will make sure that the EIS is a legitimate study that is enforced by governmental agencies?
It's a very complicated question. So it's illegal to build on the LSRD because of the adverse environmental impacts on the community. So what will you do when if you take the city council seat to ensure that the EIS is actually legitimately enforced?
Well, I would first side with the constituents and the community because I have always sided with the community. I would enact what the Lower East Side Organized Neighbors is trying to do, lessen because that is the right thing to do. I will involve federal and state agencies so that they can have a better expertise of what's going on in the waterfront. And I would basically listen to the constituents, which Margaret Chin is not doing right now. Those mega towers are going to cause primary, secondary, and even involuntary displacement. As the AMI goes up in the area, those people will eventually get priced out. I do not approve of those mega towers, and I do not approve of Department of City Planning calling new buildings minor modifications.
So what we have to do, who you're electing today is a legislator. So it's all about passing the right laws so that we can stop this overdevelopment. And what we've allowed to do in this city, we've allowed the executive branch to become too powerful. And all of you, the reason you're here today is that you're smart people. So if you take Civics 101, which all of you have, there's 3 branches of government: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judiciary. So we've allowed the mayor to become too powerful. The executive branch has thousands of staff. We have city council members who have just a handful of staff members. And then you have a mayor who has sold out to the real estate industry, and all of his agencies that report to him then do his bidding. So what you need is actually a city council member who's going to fight for you. And you also need a city council member who knows the loopholes. In some respects, Margaret Chin means well, but she actually doesn't know to push back how to push back against the real estate developers, and she doesn't know how to push back against the mayor. So what I'm going to do as your next city council member, I'm going to fight back against the executive branch, and I'm going to fight to pass real laws and actually learn how to use the court system to block these overdevelopments before they happen.